What most women do not realize is that their feminine energy is either healing them or secretly harming them. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot when your feminine energy is wounded or healthy, and then how to shift into the version of yourself that attracts love, success, and peace. I used to live in my wounded feminine energy without me even knowing it until I heal it. And now I teach women how to step into their most confident, magnetic, feminine power. And by the way, if you're new here, hi, I'm Olivia Appleberry, and I help women step into their feminine self-development and also self-expression through content creation, whether that's watching my content and then growing, or going ahead and becoming a creatorpreneur yourself so that you can get paid to exist. So if that's the journey you're on, make sure to hit subscribe, like, and turn post notifications, because I freaking post videos like this every single week. So let's get into it. So what is wounded versus healthy feminine energy? It's very simple, and this has been something that I racked around my brain for a long time, and I'm like, nobody has really given me a simple answer of like, what is the difference between wounded and healthy? And I have found like the definition that really fits it all very simply, and that is that wounded feminine energy keeps you stuck and does not allow you to grow. Healthy feminine energy puts you in the receiving mode so that you can attract your dream life. So one keeps you stuck or even tears you down, and one builds you up so that you can be fully expressed in your divine, healthy feminine, okay? So wounded feminine energy is basically when you feel, insecure, when you're feeling needy, people-pleasing, when you are disconnected from your own self-worth. Like all of those things hold you back, right? Like being in those cycles of being insecure, people-pleasing, all of those things only drain your feminine energy, therefore it does not allow you to healthily go towards the best version of yourself. Now, healthy feminine energy, that's when you're magnetic, that's when you're nurturing, that's when you're radiant, and that's where your confidence is up to the roof and your self-worth is on an all-time high. And those women that are in their healthy feminine, they attract so easily because they're operating from their healthy feminine. They're not operating from fear, from shame, from, not feeling worthy. They do not operate from those places, right? If you want to kind of keep it like an analogy, a simple analogy is think about the woman feminine like a leaking cup, okay? So if you have a cup that has, maybe some shatters on it and it has some cracks on it, guess what? Feminine energy, think about it like whatever beverage or drink or liquid you're putting into there. It's in there, it feels safe, it feels good. But when you're in your wounded feminine, things start to leak out. You don't get to fully use the power of that flowy, amazing energy. And that is exactly what it's like. Like when you're feeling very drained, when you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I feel so stressed. I feel like I'm in survival mode. I feel chaotic, right? Instead of feeling safe in me and my body and my journey that I'm on, then that's simply because you're wounded and you need to heal your way out of that, right? And guys, it doesn't matter how much, like let's say we go back to that leaky glass or that cup that has shatters on it, has some breaks in it. Doesn't matter how much people pour into you, doesn't matter how much water people offer you water, that cup will never receive it, will never receive the full abundance that is available for her. So healthy feminine is different. Healthy feminine is where it's a full glass. It's honestly, you can ever flow it endlessly. And it's also safe. It's something that you can use. You can put flowers in the vase. You can, even if you use drinking water, you can drink out of the vase. You can collect a lot more water. And it's of use, right? Like it's actually something that you can work with. Now, guys, I know that we've been taught kind of like, hey, we have to make sure that we take care of everybody else and not take care of ourselves. But when we do that, we actually shatter ourselves over and over and over again the more that we do it, right? So that's just another example of people pleasing. Now, let's go into the feminine energy that harms you and the actions that you might be taking that is down the destructive path, okay? So People pleasing is saying yes when you really internally are like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, not only because you just don't want to do it, it's just it doesn't feel aligned with you. And that's the thing, is that like our intuition is so powerful as women. And when we don't listen to that, that is actually when we create a deeper, deeper wound. Okay. When we do the things that aren't aligned with being in our healthy feminine, when we set boundaries for ourselves and we say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. These are the standards I set for myself, and you stick with them. That is you healing your wound, not you making the cut deeper. Okay. Like, because the thing about people pleasing, it leads you into more exhaustion, resentment, and also a lack of self-respect. If you think about this, I was like saying this, but like, it's all about habits. That's why I called my group Habitual Honeys my private community, because it's really all about habits. And a lot of the times we get into the wounded feminine and we get in the cycle of being in our wounded feminine, and just basically our life is going on a downward spiral is because we have the habit of being in our wounded feminine, right? And even sometimes it feels safer to go towards the wounded feminine, do the people pleasing, do all the things that society says you should be doing and making sure everybody's feelings are not hurt, blah, 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 right? That is a negative, right? That it brings our wounds to be deeper. Another thing, and I know I got so much heat for saying this, but I stand on this. And if you don't agree with it, you really have to look at yourself and look at your ego, okay? One is calling yourself a 10 out of 10, but not truly believing it. And I know a lot of women are be like, but I think I'm a 10 out of 10 and I believe it. We'll get into that, okay? So the thing about that, and I understand people when they say, oh, I call myself a 10 out of 10, it's because they say it's confidence, knowing my worth, all of that stuff. And I'm going to be very honest, and I honestly need to be more cutthroat on this channel because it's true. Babe, if you're fat and ugly, like, you know that you do not want to be fat and ugly, and you are fat and ugly, and you call yourself a 10 out of 10, where's the room to improve? Where's the room to improve? And that's just that. It's like, if you know that there's parts of you that you want to change and you're still calling yourself a 10 out of 10, that alone leaves you to be complacent in your life. And instead, it's toxic positivity. It's not actually bringing positive results in your life. I said this in a short video that I made, and I said that toxic delusion keeps you stuck, but positive, healthy delusion rises you up. When you call yourself a 10 out of 10, when you still got room to improve, you are keeping yourself stuck because you're saying, I'm already satisfied with where I am, right? And there's nothing wrong. Like, of course, be grateful. I'm not saying that being grateful is the most powerful thing you can do, but also, so be so grateful for you, your life, your feminine power, your body, your temple, everything, your appearance. Like, be so grateful for it that you give it love. When you say you are grateful for something, what do? Do you just ignore it? No. When you're grateful for something, you give it love, care, and attention. Babe, if your man was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for you, let me just ignore you for 5 days straight and not communicate with you. Wow, 10 out of 10. Like, that is 10 out of 10 actions right there. Like, woo, he's taking care of her so well. No, we don't ever say that. So why do we say that for ourselves and like try to dilute to our point? Because at the end of the day, guys, I think part of being in your feminine energy is not about the hustle, but it's about the being and also the becoming. I have actually created a YouTube video on this channel called How to Be a Work of Art, but also be a work in progress. How to be a work of art, but also be a work in progress. You can be both, okay? Like, you don't need to call yourself a 10 out of 10. Just be like, hey, I'm a work in progress, but also I see my value. I see what I'm able to become, and I know what I have now and what I am becoming. That is as powerful. And honestly, I think that gets you on a better trajectory to fully show up as your divine self, because life is not just about already being there. It's about becoming, and that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of a feminine woman. If you think about like all the girls, the women, celebrities, pop stars that are crushing it, are they like sitting around like I'm a 10 out of 10, I don't need to do nothing. No, they get their butt up and they're going out there taking aligned action towards their goals. They're showing up on the red carpets. They're showing up on the podcast. They're showing up in public appearances. They're showing up inside their business because they know that, hey, the goal is not to be a 10 out of 10. The goal is to become the person I want to become and continue to be on that journey while also knowing who the heck I am. And you can have both, okay? You can have both. Both can be true, the being and becoming, okay? So that's what I encourage instead of the toxic, oh my gosh, I'm a 10 out of 10. Girl, please. Like, and if you disagree with me, then you disagree with me. There's people that were like, oh my gosh, I agree with this so much. And there's people that were like, girl, you missed the mark on this. And honestly, when I go to people, like I go to their pages, I'm like, okay, well, they usually have no profile. I'm like, really, we're calling all of ourselves a 10 out of 10 and you don't even like, not to really get there, but it's just like, there's so much that we're capable as women and it disappoints me so much. And I see the potential in women so much. That's why I like make videos on YouTube every day and make so much content because I see the potential in women and I see what they're capable of. And when they do things like that, it's just like, are we serious right now? Like, I know what you're capable of. This is what you're capable of. And you're playing these games. You're playing these games down here when you're capable of this. And that's why I talk about these things, especially if it's controversial. But anyways, I can talk about this over and over and over again. Another thing, I said nothing. Going with the flow too much. So no structure. Oh my gosh, do I know this? Back and forth. Like this used to be my bread and butter. Going with the flow too much. Going with, like, I know people are like, oh my gosh, live that soft life. I'm like, babe, just getting handed the soft life is not where you want to be. Again, it's about being and becoming, right? When you have no structure, it leads you to be this flowy, goey woman, which is cool, but feminine energy, when not controlled, can be very chaotic. And that's not what you want. You want to have some structure so that you can actually put your good feminine energy to use. I always like to say this, like I always use the water bottle analogy. If I went ahead and I said, I give you the assignment to go out to your nearest river and collect as much water as you can with your hands, what's going to happen? You're going to try to fill up as much as you can, but it's going to be annoying. It's going to be messy. You're going to get wet everywhere. Like, it's just going to be really messy. But I've said, okay, now I'm going to get another girl. One was with the hands. The other girl, I'm going to hand you a water bottle. Go ahead and collect as much water. Who's going to collect more water? The girl with the water bottle. Why? Because she has a container. She has structure. And now she can go ahead and use this flowy feminine energy into something useful. Now she can distill the water, drink the water. Now she can, use it so that she can grow her flowers. She can use it to water her plants. She can use it for so many things. That's exactly what feminine energy needs in order to be really, really reach its potential. Okay? So no structure leads to chaos, and it leads to unfinished goals, and it also leads to a lack of stability in both your relationships and also your work. And the thing about structure, it allows you to feel safe going through your schedule and going through your day. Like when you know that you have structure, like, hey, I'm going to do this in the morning, I'm going to do this in the middle of the day, I'm going to do this in night. It leads you to get out of your brain, which is being in the masculine energy a lot. It allows you to fully flow into your body and go through the day like it's natural. Like you're just like it's natural to you, right? And it's working with you instead of against you. So that's exactly what you want to start implementing, is having structure, not being too flow. Like go with the flow is good for some things, but for every single day, every single second of the day, it's not, okay? And it's going to lead you to not to a place that's going to elevate you, because like I said again, wounded feminine energy runs away from structure, runs away from the things that are going to push her forward and bring her towards her healthy feminine and attracting her dream life, but the healthy feminine is going to get her closer to it. So when you do not have structure, you're too flow and go, guess what you're doing? You're actually keeping yourself stuck. You're actually keeping yourself held back in terms of your potential, okay? So next, we're going to talk now about the healthy, because we already got the wounded. Now, the healthy feminine energy, it heals you, obviously. An example of a healthy feminine energy is setting boundaries. with friends, relationships, parents, everything in your life, right? Like setting boundaries, like saying no confidently. Like I always like the saying that if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. I mean, that's an amazing, amazing thing. Like I personally say no to a lot of things, and ever since I especially stepped into my business, into the business world, and into building my brand and taking my goals a lot more seriously, I have actually said no to so many things, so many meetings, so many events, and I do not feel guilty about it because at the end of the day, I know where I'm meant to go and I know what my intuition's telling me and I listen and lean into it. It's just not something, I'm not going to force myself into something that's not aligned. That is very much force over flow, okay? So, why this is good and why setting boundaries is good is because when you say no to people, it makes your yes even more powerful. When you say yes to something, you know that it's because you truly, truly, it truly aligns with you and it's something that you truly need and is also going to fill up your cup and fill up your soul. Okay. So that's another thing. Now, I know we talked about the 10 out of 10, and I feel like a lot of women that call themselves a 10 out of 10 don't actually believe it. They just like love to spew like fake positivity to themselves to make themselves feel good, but I don't actually think that, like, I would say 99.9% of people that say they're a 10 out of 10 do not actually believe it if we looked at their subconscious. Now, with that, I want to go with the opposite. Healthy feminine is having true confidence in yourself. So, not having to say you're a 10 out of 10, but your presence speaks for itself. Not even that your presence is a 10 out of 10, but the fact that like you don't even need to prove yourself. You don't even need to tell anybody anything. Like if somebody doesn't think you're a 10 out of 10, okay, you still believe it yourself. That's true confidence. That's unshakable confidence. It's not trying to convince other people that you're a 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's what I would say is having true confidence in yourself and being anchored in your presence, not in what you say, but how you show up as a woman, your beingness, right? Like, when people think about you, do you put a smile on their face? Do they think about you positively? What I always like to say is that a woman, a truly attractive, beautiful, confident woman, is not about her beauty. It's not even about what she looks like. It's about the light that she brings into other people's lives. And what does that mean? Is like when people think about you, when you even walk into the room, how is their reaction? Is like, are they excited? Are they happy? Do you make people smile? Do you make people laugh? Do you make them feel encouraged? Like that is true, true, true influence. And it's also true having a magnetic presence that's attractive. Okay. Next is flow and structure and using them together, because feminine flow with a masculine container is what really allows you to reach your potential. I'm talking about rules. I'm talking about routines. I'm talking about goals. I'm talking about discipline, right? I'm talking about devotion. Like all of that stuff is going to allow your feminine energy to feel a lot more safe with taking action. It's going to feel a lot more prepared. It's going to feel like, oh, I don't need to overthink and do all of these, jump through a whole bunch of hoops in my head in order to move in my body. Because that's what really feminine energy is about. Masculine is a lot about the mind. Feminine energy is a lot about the embodiment and moving through your body and flowing with it. And if you don't know what to do every single day, like you every single hour of your day, like I'm not saying every single hour, but like if you do not know how to go through your day and you do not feel confident, you're kind of feeling like you're going at life and things are being thrown at you instead of you creating your life and it flowing with you, then that is because you lack structure. And again, that's what I talk about inside of my in my channel. So make sure to freaking subscribe and like and all that. But also I want to let you guys know that I do know that once you heal out of your wounded feminine energy, everything comes to you so much easier, especially when it comes to content creation. And that's exactly what I actually help women with. Not only go ahead and like express their voice, but also get out of their wounded feminine energy, get into their healthy feminine energy and shift fast. And that's actually why I create free live masterclasses every single month, and I host them so that I can go ahead and help you step into your true presence, but also build a brand off of that pays you to exist. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to join my free live masterclass that I host every single month, make sure to save your spot in the description below. And I would love to know in the comments down below, what did you think about this video? Like, I know I said a lot of things that might grind a little gears, but I'm always open for different conversations and about having conversations, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. We're all unique in our own ways, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think about everything that I talked about here and what are the things that you kind of struggle with. I would also love to know, like, what are some videos that you want to know more or want me to make more about? Is about feminine energy, building a brand, business building? Would love to know and love to know your feedback, okay? So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And make sure to subscribe, like, turn post notifications on if you haven't already, because I post videos like this every single week to help you on your journey. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.